So welcome to Shop Talks, which is a production of the Ink Kitchen. Ink Kitchen is a repository of free information online. I'd say most of it's pretty damn accurate. Inkkitchen.com, and then a YouTube channel that has this talk and all others up there. There's over 200 YouTube interviews with people that know what they're talking about. So check that out. If you were here for the marketing one, that'll be up online later if you can't make it back here at 3 o'clock. All right, I'm here with Howard Levine. Well, first I want to mention my sponsors, Los Angeles Apparel and Her Solutions and Impressions. They most generously make this possible and free. Howard is from Alliance Graphics up in the Bay Area and has been doing this since dinosaurs ruled the earth. And we're going to talk about activism and shirts. Howard, why don't you say a little bit about your company to start with?
Sure, and sorry I can't tell you how to turn your website into a generating lead machine, but I don't know how to do that. So I was going to sit here and listen myself, so I apologize that I can't do that for you. Alliance Graphics, we started in 1990. We're a union shop, and basically we were started by a nonprofit organization. So being activist is really, it's in our DNA. It's who we have always been and who we want to be. And we do screen printing, we do embroidery, and now promotional products. And working with other activists and union organizers, it's actually a really, really good business, as well as being something that nourishes your soul.
All right. So I don't know if you know this. So my first T-shirt I printed by myself was an activist T-shirt. I don't think I even ever told you this. So I went to a school in upstate New York, and there was a building on the campus. It was made from rocks quarried on the property, and it had a great history. It had been a biology building. It was called OBio. It was an art building. But the Olin Corporation had a new building, and they wanted an unobstructed view, and so they were going to tear it down. So we printed T-shirts, Save Old Bio. And guess what? That building is still there. Yeah. So, I don't know. It doesn't always work that way, but in that case it did, and maybe I got hooked on at that.
Yeah, no, it definitely works that way. And I would have to, I was thinking about this. I would have to say that, if screen printing didn't exist, activists and organizers would have to invent it, because they really can't do what they do without screen printed shirts, without posters and signs, without, all the things that, lawn signs, poster window signs that, make an activist campaign work. And, from a business point of view, one of the nice things about it that I find, and, unless you're working for big corporations that have big marketing budgets, the small businesses that we work with, they maybe are able to print shirts once, twice a year when they're doing stuff. Activists and organizers, they got campaigns running all the time. That's why they exist. So there's lots of repeat business, which, as everybody knows, is where the best business is, when you're doing it over and over again. Every month, every couple months, there's a new campaign, there's a new march, there's a new something that has to be saved. And so that works, if you can work with that. And again, people like to, display their values. Personally, I don't like to wear a shirt that advertises a product if I'm not, a product that I'm involved with. I like to have a shirt that, right. Yeah, we like to have shirts that talk about who we are and what we care about. And people are like that. And I tell you, there's nothing more fulfilling than going to a march or a rally and seeing a whole bunch of people wearing the same things. They look more powerful, they look more organized, they look like they're ready to get something done. And that's why they're there.
I've actually seen it where it's the only way to get your point across. So I know that Tibetan activists, when the Chinese premier was at Harvard, they weren't allowed, you couldn't bring any signs in, you couldn't say anything, but the people wore T-shirts, and so they just stood up, and their shirt was the statement, actually, the only statement they could make.
Yeah, sometimes...
Very, very hard to make you remove your shirt before you enter.
Yeah, no, and that happened a lot. This year, I'm an A's fan. We did a lot of work for the Oakland Athletics, and they're moving, and there was a big campaign to get the lousy owner to try to sell the team. And when you go to an A's game, and the shirts were filled, the stands were filled with people wearing shirts that said, "Sell the team." Couldn't bring a sign that said that or a banner, but you could definitely wear a shirt. They couldn't stop you from doing that.
I think some were a little stronger stated than that, weren't they?
Well, many of them were, but the sell thing caught on really big.
No, it's funny. A lot of things you could bring up, maybe people would argue one side or the other. I don't think anybody's on the side of that owner, right?
No, I think, he's not well liked by anybody. I don't think anybody says, oh, he did a good job. But, again, the whole idea is gather people, help them figure out how to get their message across in a way that works. The thing that, screen printing is more than other things, it's affordable, it's repeatable, you can do it in large numbers, for not that much cost. So it really works. And it doesn't end when the rally ends or when the march ends. People are going home with their shirts. They're still wearing them for days and weeks and months. So you continue to get that bang for the buck. It's why Nike prints out tons of shirts, because you're a walking billboard. Wouldn't you rather be a walking billboard for something you care about? I would.
What are you, crazy?
Possibly. I certainly would think so.
Yeah, it's almost like intimidation is the wrong word, but it's certainly a power statement. I know I've been at certain activities where everybody that's part of the opposition, for example, is all wearing a red T-shirt with whatever the slogan is, it can be a very powerful tool to show your numbers, right?
Well, it definitely is. I mean, it definitely, like I said, it makes you feel more organized. It makes you feel a little more in control, and it makes it look like you're probably bigger than you are. If you go to a march or rally and you see 200 people wearing purple shirts with the same slogan on it, you think there's something going on here, and maybe I should pay attention to it.
Actually, some of the unions, for example, always use the same color, so you always know it's them. Like the SEIU is purple, for example.
Purple, right, and the nurses are red, and the teachers are royal blue. Then they've got that same color.
All right. Any proud moments where you've seen an activist shirt you printed, highlighted, or somebody wearing it in public or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's been numerous times when we've had some stuff. There was an article about rallies that happened in Las Vegas, and people were wearing shirts that we printed. And lots of times we've seen nurses' rallies, and there've been, I'll turn on, a Facebook page or something. I'll see, there's the shirts we printed, there's the caps we embroidered, there's the signs we printed. Everywhere you turn, something we made was helping them get their point across. It made us feel really good. And I think, some of our staff is here, and I think it makes them feel good too, to know that they're working for things that, are important to them. That's not just, trying to make some money for somebody else's corporation.
I think the other thing is, besides as a business thing, anybody can learn to print and set up and print themselves. So we had an activism conference a few weeks ago, and we taught everybody to print shirts and posters with very primitive equipment. So the guy over there with what they call in Canada a toque, the guy in the beanie over there is one of the better screen printers in the world. And, he's always the star of Flatstock, etc. But he also loves teaching beginners. And with very, very little money, you can set up a little rig like he has there and print posters or T-shirts, and people can do their own, right?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely the barrier to entry is very low, if you want to get started doing it, and you can grow. We got started doing it, like many people, in my garage, and we grew to be a bigger shop, and that's how people get started. But if you just want to do it, in a small thing for something you care about, I do it. I have to say, back to your original question, there are times when I'll go out to a march or a rally, and I'll just bring my little phone and I'll just take pictures of all the shirts that we printed, because it makes me feel good. It makes you feel connected. Even if you can't participate in a more meaningful way, it makes you feel connected to the issues and the people that are doing it. And I know the organizations and the unions that we work for consider us a really important part of their campaign strategies. They know that getting the word out and looking like they're well organized is an important part of what they do.
I think, if anything, over the years, it's become more important as there's social media that you can get those images of your people in those shirts out to the world, not just the people that are at the particular spot, right?
Oh, yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, people make whole livings trying to send their T-shirts out to people, hoping somebody will wear it and get online so they can go viral. I mean, it's a thing.
All right. I don't know. Anything else to say about activism and shirts?
Well, again, like I said, I don't know how you disconnect them. I don't think there's no way to disconnect, activism and doing things that you care about. All of us mostly got into this because we, we're dealing with something that we cared about, and we wanted to express that in a way that was accessible and open to a lot of people. And I think that's why I stayed in it.
I don't think there's a cause that I've ever not seen a shirt for. You know what I mean? I think every cause, every social change organization, they always have shirts. It's like an integral part of it, right?
If they don't have a shirt, I don't think it exists.
Any questions? All right, so the question is, so we can have this on the tape later. How did you let groups know that you were there to help them if they needed it?
Well, again, since I did it when dinosaurs roamed, the internet hadn't quite been invented yet. So we had to do it the old-fashioned way. We had to call them up. We had to visit them. We were, like I said, we got started because we were activists ourselves. So we already had connections. And that's, people always say, be involved, print for things, target people that you're already working with. You're like, bowling, go to bowling leagues. But we were activists, so we went to our activist places. And that's how we got started.
Yeah, I think as we mentioned, everybody in an organization like that, every organization makes shirts. So if you target them and say you do it, sometimes I don't know if Howard does, but some people give a discount in certain situations when for unions, if they're have a strike or something to help them out. Sometimes people give a discount for, nonprofits. And I think that kind of thing can go pretty far towards, people seeking you out for that kind of work. I think also advertising how you treat your workers and stuff, because the kind of organizations, one would hope, and quite often do, care about the ecology of what you're doing, the labor standards of what you're doing. And so if you advertise those, they're going to seek you out as well, I think, right?
It's true. I mean, I think, we target people who aren't shopping just on price. I mean, we do a fair price, but we pay union wages. We're in the Bay Area. Our rents are high. We have high benefits. And the people we work with understand that work has value, right? So you want to get paid for your work. Yeah, you could go find somebody to do it cheaper than us, always. That's not who we do, but we talk to people who want to care about, the value of the work that people do, who want to know that their money's being spent in a way that's consistent with their values. So that's definitely important. But we do offer discounts. We offer nonprofit discounts, or what I call solidarity discounts.
I think also if you advertise or you get known for getting your work done on time, a lot of the things that we print for are very time sensitive, and if you don't get stuff done on time, it ruins the whole damn thing. So you need a good reputation for getting things done on time, I'd say too.
Yeah, and you got to have a staff that's willing to be nimble, because really, unlike a lot of corporations, nonprofit organizations, unions, other organizations don't have a big communication staff. They don't have event organizers. They got people that are doing it in addition to their other job. So right at the end, they'll say, oh, we're having a rally on Thursday, and it's Monday. We forgot to order the shirts. And that's not, that's the way it is. That's not what happens sometimes.
Amen. That was a good question. Thank you. Other questions? Any shirts that you've printed that really stand out for you?
Well, like I said, we do, we were started by a nonprofit organization, Middle East Children's Alliance, and we print a lot of shirts for them. During this last year, with what's been going on in Gaza, we've printed dozens of different designs about what's been going on in Gaza. Those always really stand out for us. We
had some famous ones. We had the guy from Coldplay was on Letterman or something like that, and he wore a Stop Handgun Violence shirt that we printed, I remember. There's been a few of those. I just remembered that one, though. Michael Stipe once on a nighttime talk show wore a bunch of shirts, and during the time he kept taking them off for the different issues, and I think we had printed a couple of them. So that was kind of an interesting approach. I don't think they would have let them speak out about those things, but they kind of spoke for themselves. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, we just did a shirt for an organizing group for a bunch of women, and their shirt basically was "Not Today, Patriarchy." I loved that one. And
It's not easy either. Like a lot of times, some issues are more complicated than a T-shirt can say. So I'd say there's a real art of boiling. You have to be good with language. Catchy phrase is not always that easy on a complicated issue, but usually there's something there. You know, that's a tough one though.
it is a tough one, but again, our team is really good at coming up with images and words that get the point across that make it clear. I mean, you just gotta think can I put it on a bumper sticker? I mean,
It's amazing how some endure. Like there's the Harvard Strike Fist, and then there's like a million iterations of it since. I think that was originally on a T-shirt, right? You have a favorite yourself? That's a good question. Any other questions? All right. Like I said, if you were here originally for the marketing talk, that's going to be at 3 o'clock. How about a hand for Howard Levine here?